So we'll be working the feed lane tonight, or for at least most of the night. Today's Monday, March 25th. So it looks like we're going to be working the feed lane most of the night. Check this water trough. Yeah, water trough's good. We had the vet check this morning. Had 15 open heifers and 65 heifers pregnant, and then I think 10 out of the 11 cows that we checked were pregnant as well. Looks like there's going to be about 160 to 170 due the first 30 days of this next calving season. Which that's fine. More the better, I guess. This means we're going to be super busy. Well, this is a 2018 Honda Rancher with independent rear suspension, automatic, and you can select an electric shift also. So it's got a little over 5,600 miles on it. We've had it for almost a year and 3 months, and if my math's correct, it's like an average of 12.5 miles a day that we put on this four-wheeler. We're gonna reel the reel up, and then see where we go from there. Yeah, so I've had two four-wheelers before this one. The first one was mine. Just before I had a side-by-side or anything like that, and I rode that four-wheeler everywhere. It was a 2008 Honda Rincon, and let's see, I would have got rid of it. I think I had it for 5 years, and I put almost 16,000 miles on it. Then after that, it had a Honda Foreman that was a 2013, and it didn't get used every day, but we still put almost 15,000 miles on it at the end. When it was new, there was a good 2 or 3 months where it didn't get used a whole lot, but towards the end of its life or whatever, it got used every day. And, yeah, I want to say it had like 15,500 miles on it. And this one's on its way. Yeah, so that's got 5,600 miles on it. I didn't look to see how many hours. And then the Ranger. I'm pretty much the only one that rides the Ranger. I mean, sometimes somebody will need to use it for something, but basically daily use, I'm the one that uses it. This has 4,237 miles on it, and they were bought like within days of each other. So that's 400. The Ranger gets about 9 miles a day, and that four-wheeler gets like 12.5. Somewhere in there. Alright, so group 1's almost done if they're not already done milking. I think maybe the whole group's done milking. So we'll push feed for them and then unlock the first ones. So here's an example, perfect example of why we lock them even though in the afternoons we don't do anything with them. You know, they're not being doctored or checked or bred or anything like that. But we still lock them up in the afternoons because, if you can see, I mean, these basically have no feed, just very little left of scraps. And then see how it just, from here on, it just gets a little bit more and a little bit more feed down to the end. Because the cows on the end have only been down there for, about 20 minutes. Maybe not even that, 15 minutes. And then it's just now 6 o'clock, and then the first 15 cows were in here at like 4:30. So if we didn't lock them, these first cows would just cherry pick their way down, and those last cows down there that have still a lot of feed in front of them, there wouldn't be anything left for them. So what we do now is we'll go ahead and unlock the first 50. So they go drink water. They can do whatever they want to now. And we'll go ahead and unlock the second 50. And what I mean by lock, you see when you have this handle set like this, the cow puts her head in and she pushes down to eat, it pops up and locks. So she can't pull her head out. And you can unlock them individually like this, or you release the handle and release all of them. So if we have to sort cows to a new group or move cows for any reason, we can go through, find them, and unlock them. Have one guy on this side, finding the cow and unlocking the cow, and the guy on the other side pushing the cows whichever direction you want. It just makes things a heck of a lot easier and a lot safer for the people and the cows. So you see, well, there's a water trough up there. There's a bunch of them drinking the water trough, and then these cows are just getting the last little bit left. Here's the third 50. We'll leave them locked for a little while longer, and especially the last one. See how much feed's left. So some of the first ones, as soon as you unlock them, they run down here because they know there's going to be a few empty holes that have feed in front of it, and they run down here and keep eating. Just because they think they still need to eat. You can see the water troughs on the outside. You can see all the cows' heads poking out. They're drinking all water. Right now, all 4 water troughs have cows on them. That's another reason we don't really unlock all 100 cows at the same time. Or all 4 sets of headlocks, which would be 205 cows if it was full. Which is about 180 in this group. Yeah, we don't unlock them all at the same time to let the water troughs have a minimal amount of pressure so there's no injuries or anything like that. So we still haven't done anything about the tire on skid steer. That's still the same tire that came off the tractor. It's kind of a toss-up. We could almost go buy a manufactured one that is 2 foot taller and a foot wider than what we have, and painted real nice, real set up. And then we can also get a feed pusher the same way, for probably about the same money that it would cost us to make one. We just haven't really decided which way we want to go, if we want to build one or if we want to buy one. So that's why we still got that same scraper, and we're still using the Kubota to push feed. Everything's working right now. We're short-handed, still a little short-handed, and trying to get a bunch of other stuff done, so it's just easier to keep doing what we're doing right now. Today's Junior. Let's go, Junior. Done? Last 2 cows of group 1 walking out. I'm here. I was just putting the reels up. I got off to put this post in the ground and just seen this. This is the first. This right here, and that, this here, even this, this here. That's all Tifton 85. That's the first green Tifton 85 I've seen so far. There's some more there. So this right here is cereal rye. That's cereal rye. This is just in a... The last time the cows were in here is when we got all that heavy rain. I made that feeding video in the rain. It's kind of a corner and they just got in here and tore it up a little bit. Made some bald spots. And you can see here that's dormant 85, but it's still rooted. So I mean that should be probably turning green pretty quick. Yeah, see it's all in the ground. So here pretty quick we'd be covered up in Tifton 85. Which is a good thing. And I see a little more over there. Some right there. This is that same crap that had in a previous video called Pala. It's trash. There's some more of it. That's see this right here where my finger is? That's where a root would be. There's another root. There's a root. And a root. That one's in the ground. That one's in the ground. That one's in the ground. That one's in the ground too. Where the hell does this thing go? That's probably from here to over there. That's called a runner. So Tifton 85 comes up out of the ground, and then it shoots out runners. And then these things run down on the ground. And once they lay on the ground for so long, they sprout a root in it. And they just keep spreading and spreading. So that's to have like a 2.5 foot runner with multiple places in the ground. That's a pretty healthy sign. And what'll happen is, where's the other spot? Well, that spot right there is in the ground. So then once those get in the ground real good and get rooted, then they'll sprout, throw runners out. That's how you get really thick ground. Or really thick grass. So here's a runner, but it came out of the ground. Got trampled or whatever. It got pulled up. See the roots right there. So this was laying on the ground and it was rooted. For whatever reason got pulled up. And that's like what I was saying in one of the previous videos. So if you ran over that just right and split it, you just end up making multiple plants. Yeah, now that I'm looking, I see a lot more green Tifton 85, so it's a good sign. There's a lot of bugs, a lot of gnats. It's always nice to come out to reel up a reel and you can tell the difference where they were and where they got to go. There's quite a bit of grass still here for them to graze. It's not as good as it was last year because of the weather, but it's still pretty good. We are cutting our TMR down about, are taking about 10% away. So we're feeding 90% TMR right now. And then the rest of our dry matter is coming from this grass. I'm figuring they're probably getting 12 to 14 pounds of dry matter from the grass right now. So I put reels up in 8, put 2 reels up in number 8, reeled the reel up in number 9. It's just kind of a coincidence that they ended up being in order. Going to go close group 1. I'm going to put 2 reels up in 28 real quick. Put 2 reels up in 28 real quick. And then reel up the reel in 30. Where group 4 is going, and then head back to the feeling. It's going to be dark in about 5 minutes. Pretty cool looking though, huh? Group 1 here has already had their first break. They're standing, all of them are standing where their reel was, just on the inside of it. So with this first half they're done with, now they're in the second half, and they got one more for tomorrow. So yeah, so they're all up and grazing right now. It's kind of weak right here, or at least they've already ate that down. I don't know. But yeah. After about an hour of grazing pretty hard, where they'll eat probably 50% of the grass, they'll lay down for 3 or 4 hours, and then they'll bugs, man. So they'll graze real hard for about an hour after being out here, and then they'll lay down for 3 or 4 hours, get up again, graze again for about an hour, then they usually lay down for another few hours, and some of them will start heading to the gate ready to be milked. The rest of them just chill out until somebody comes and gets them. But so they're not actually grazing all the time. The majority of them are just laying down. So they only graze for about 2 to 3 hours a day, or 2 or 3 hours a time. So 2 or 3 hours during the day, 2 or 3 hours during the night, and then the rest of the time it's laying down. So we're headed to 28 now. We're back up here at the feed lane. We put 2 reels in 9, reeled up the. We put 2 reels in 8, reeled up the reel in 9. Closed group 1, put 2 reels in 28, and reeled up the reel in 30 for group 4. Now we have to run group 4's feed off. Group 2, there's gotta be like 20, maybe 30 cows still in the barn. So we're gonna run group 4's feed off, and then start pushing feed for group 2. So we ran group 4's feed off. We're going to turn the lights on and then push feed for group 2. Should almost be done milking. pretty good feed.
We had one light go out. Just haven't fixed it yet.
Come on. See LED lights? We have side lights. Like 360 lights all the way around. Better hurry up and drink it or I'm not going to go to sleep tonight.